Qui-Gon found him, and now Obi-Wan had to carry him. In fact, he had to be a master to a very stubborn young Anakin that was mostly careless rather than obedient. Even at a very young age, Anakin was showing signs of trouble. The task that Obi-Wan was given, for him to manage a Padawan like Skywalker, was without a doubt something that I don't think even the most experienced Jedi Masters of that time could handle. We pretty much see this in Revenge of the Sith. While Windu simply instructs Anakin here and there, Yoda outright guides Anakin through his troubled feelings of attachments, and by the end it's still in vain. They just could not handle the implosion of darkness that was about to unveil in Anakin Skywalker, and keep this in mind throughout this video. Obi-Wan had to endure these Anakin tirades ever since he was a youngling and a Padawan. The immaturity alone was too much at times, and in this video it will become readily apparent that Anakin's rage could overtake him at any point in time. 3 years after the Battle of Naboo, Anakin Skywalker was becoming more powerful with each passing day, showing promise and confidence in his skills. During that time, he was participating in a training session within the Jedi Temple, surrounded by many other younglings. In fact, he had programmed a droid to mimic the moves and skills of Darth Maul, the secret Sith who killed his first master, Qui-Gon Jinn. Both Windu and Obi-Wan were watching these young Jedi prospects showcase their abilities, and at just the right time, Chancellor Palpatine shows up as well, showing interest in Skywalker's abilities to the dismay of Mace Windu, of course. He even referred to his improvement as impressive. With each slash, Anakin was becoming more and more aggressive, and in a final show of sheer skill, the young Padawan slashes the droid in half and completely demolishes it. Now, whether it was jealousy or perhaps the truth, the younglings behind him were slightly unimpressed. While they acknowledged his lightsaber skills, they still believed he wouldn't become a good Jedi. One commented that after all, he would always be a slave to his emotions. Anakin, however, heard only one thing that triggered him the most, and that was, he is just a slave. He had had enough. With only a flick of his wrist, he used the Force to pull both of their lightsabers suspended on air and ignited them by easily using the Force. The younglings were shocked and terrified. To make matters worse, Anakin taunted them about their comments. Witnessing what just happened, Obi-Wan immediately intervened, but by that point Anakin had just come to his senses. He defused the lightsabers and gave them back to the younglings with an apology to offer as well. It was a sudden burst of emotion. However, the Padawans had just witnessed his wrath. They were not about to discuss it further, they just said to forget it. Palpatine, of course, having seen what transpired, used this opportunity as an in to spend more time with the boy, instructed Windu to send the boy over to him more frequently. After all, he was once Anakin's age, he commented, and he felt a special connection with Anakin, even reminding Windu that the Jedi fall under the Senate's jurisdiction. He was the Senate. Shortly thereafter, when he went on a brief errand with Palpatine, the boy became disillusioned and, in fact, wanted to completely leave the Jedi Order and pursue adventure, choose his own path, as he explained to Obi-Wan. But during that turbulent time, both Anakin and Obi-Wan were sent on a mission to the planet of Carnelian 4 in response to a call for Jedi assistance. The trip would not be a smooth one. Their ship would crash upon entry, and while there, they discovered the ruins of an advanced civilization that used to rule the planet. Now it was swarmed by primitive species and survivors. While on the surface, Obi-Wan and Anakin immediately find themselves in a heat of battle between Prawn and Grecker, and while the Jedi defuse the situation, they are still left stranded and agree to work together in order to survive. While trying to recover an airship, Grecker asks Obi-Wan if the young boy is his son, to which Obi-Wan responds with a firm no, that he is his Padawan, which, as he describes, describes as something between a student and an apprentice. Gregor is mostly shocked that Anakin is a mere student. He could handle himself and others quite easily, even noting that Skywalker was a tough kid. Gregor continues to question Obi-Wan about Anakin and how he came to be the boy's master, to which Obi-Wan responds with kind of a meek answer, saying that his dying master just asked him to train Anakin and he had no other choice. He just could not refuse a dying wish. Kenobi goes on to say that Anakin is very important. With his potential and his abilities, he could very well affect the balance between good and evil in the universe. In the end, he would need guidance, and that he swore to provide that to him. Visibly, Obi-Wan was uncomfortable. Gregor even tells him that he doesn't seem too happy about this ordeal. Basically, that the Jedi was simply stuck with a tough-minded student. However, Obi-Wan, who always showed humility, put the blame on himself, telling Gregor that it is normal for a kid of his age to behave in such a way, and any blame for any failure would solely rest upon him. While Gregor still notices that Anakin idolizes Obi-Wan, the veteran Jedi still acknowledges that Anakin has his issues with serving the Jedi Order. Furthermore, Kenobi believes that the young Padawan finds patience to be quite difficult. Skywalker hates to wait on anything. He just can't concede that he would leave the Order, stating that if he indeed does leave, things will become a bit more complicated. Of course, this is not the first time and the only time that we see Anakin and Obi-Wan clash from time to time, but it is interesting with these canon comics to see how close Anakin came to calling it quits, not just once, but multiple times, especially once he grew up and started his relationship with Padme Amidala. But of course, talk to me down below in the comments, tell me what do you guys think as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up down below, subscribe for dailies. Now you have an awesome day, Star Wars fans. I'll see you in the next video, and may the Force be with you until then.